Welcome everybody to the orientation for the new Certificate in Regulated Investment Funds cohort for 2025. I am Aisling O'Mahony and I'm course coordinator for the course at MTU, and I've been joined by my colleague John Casey, who is course coordinator for the course at SETU. I will be passing the mic to John in just a short while to introduce himself, but also then to begin our slide deck in which we'll run through some important information for you to know before the course begins. So John, would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Oh, hello everyone. You're very welcome, and I look forward to meeting everybody online in mid-September when we get this program up and running, and we'll see you all then.
Perfect. So for now, I'm going to share our slide deck for the induction. You should all have this on your screens shortly. And John and I will take you through some of the different information that you will need in order to be able to access various programs, to access notes, and also to access classes for this course. So to begin with, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of how the Funds Academy operates and the relationship between myself and John. And then we will give you a rundown of how you access materials through Moodle if you are enrolling through SETU, or Canvas if you're enrolling through MTU. And then John will give you an insight into the program structure, how the schedule for the semester will work. And then I'll give you a final overview of assessment and the relationship between MTU and SETU, as well as student emails. Okay, so to begin with, the Funds Academy is a project that is co-run between MTU and SETU. It was started 5 years ago through a project entitled the Human Capital Initiative Pillar 3. And the idea was to strengthen the investment funds industry, particularly in the south and southeast of Ireland. So the project is effectively a joint model between both Munster Technological University in Cork and Southeast Technological University in Waterford, and Carlow. You will have enrolled through one or the other. So you'll have either enrolled through MTU or you will have enrolled through SETU. So your final certificate will be issued by the institution that you have enrolled in. So you won't get a certificate from both institutions. You will just be getting your certificate from the institution that you have enrolled in. For more information on the Funds Academy and the courses that we deliver, you can have a look at our website, fundsacademy.ie. Or indeed, you can get in touch with John or I at any stage if you have any questions. We often run a number of initiatives and events. You can follow our LinkedIn page, fundsacademy.ie on LinkedIn, where we upload information around upcoming seminars and events that may be of interest as well. So just to begin with, John and I are going to take you through a whistle-stop tour of our learning management systems, or LMS, Moodle and Canvas. Okay, so in the first instance, I will be taking you through Canvas, which is the LMS that MTU students will be accessing. And then John will give you a rundown of Moodle. Okay, so to begin with, you'll see that there are two different learning platforms, but they're very, very similar, but you will only be accessing one or the other. The exact same information will be made available to all students on both platforms. So you'll get the same notes from your lecturers in both platforms. This platform will host things like the program handbook, module materials, different notes, questions, and there'll be a Zoom link for each module, so you need to make sure that you have that, because that is how you'll be accessing the online classes every week. And the recordings of the classes will also be made available on these platforms, so it's important that you can access those in case you need to miss a recording or a live class from time to time. You can access the recording. There'll also be additional materials made available to you here, so things like sample questions, or indeed guidance around assessments that the lecturers may wish you to access as well. So just to flag, there are two ways of accessing, there's one way of accessing Moodle and another way of accessing Canvas. So all of the information is here. In a second, I'm going to give you a rundown on how to access Canvas, and then I'll be passing over to John, who will be giving you an insight into how to access Moodle. Okay, so in the first instance, you're going to be clicking mycit.ie. I'll show you this in real time, but I'll just run through the instructions first. Then on the left-hand side, you'll see a question. You'll see a section entitled Canvas, which you can click through. You'll then use your student ID and password to log in. And then thereafter, you can also just use this link, cit.instructure.com, to access Canvas directly. We do have a really useful Canvas support page on mycit.ie, so this link is here. So I'll be making these slides available on Canvas, so you'll be able to click through to these links directly yourselves, okay? So in the first instance, I'm going to click through mycit.ie. Now, I will need to change my sharing here so that you're no longer looking at the slides and that you can see the window that I'm hoping to share right now. So I'm going to stop sharing my window here, and hopefully you'll be able to see my window in a second. Okay, so what you should see in front of you is what comes up when you click into mycit.ie. You'll see there's a number of useful pages here available, including IT services, support services, academic information, if you ever need that going forward. But what we're most interested in today is Canvas, okay? So if you click down to the left-hand side, you'll see under student applications, there's a piece around student email, and you'll be looking to log into Canvas, okay? Now, for me, this logs directly in because I'm always logged in effectively. But what you'll be asked to do is you'll be asked to put in your student ID as well as your password, which you'll have set up because you'll be getting emails through from our IT services in advance of accessing this. If you have any issues with accessing this, then I would recommend that you go to the CIT support for Canvas. So I'll just click this so you can see. So mycit.ie /IT support Canvas. It shows here what's required. So what is the LMS, etc., how staff can access and how students can access. And there's these help documents to kind of show you exactly how to access. If you've any issues accessing it, you can contact the 24/7 support. Information is available through the help menu and then also at edtech@mtu.e. So they'll be able to tell you if you're not sure of your access or your logins. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that there, and I'm going to pass over to John, who's going to give you a whistle-stop tour of how to access Moodle. So before I do that, John, I might just go back to the page again where it brings you through the steps for Moodle, and then I can pass over to you. So Moodle is there on the left-hand side of this slide.
Okay, thanks, Aisling, and hello everyone. I suppose to access Moodle, then it's very similar to what you might have seen through Aisling, just a slightly different look and feel what you get when you go into the SETU website. So the first thing you got to do is you got to go into setu.ie, and I'll do a walkthrough on this in a minute. Then you click onto the Student Hub and you find the Moodle link. So it's relatively straightforward, and you will get well used to this over time. You will need then to log in, and to log in you will need your student ID and password to log in. And again, those student IDs and those passwords will be provided to you in advance of joining the program. Indeed, some of you may have gotten them already. There is also a link for Moodle support, and that's also available. That link is on the front page for Moodle as well too. So I think maybe these things we would just say is, Aisling, is if you come off the share, and then I will share my screen, and thank you very much. And hopefully okay, so hopefully now you can see my screen, and what you can see now is you can see the SETU front page. As I said, if you go into Student Hub, click in here. So this is now the Student Hub. This is where you get all student, kind of general student information. If you scroll down, you'll eventually come to it's very clear here, a tile on Moodle. Hit that, and then that brings you into the login screen. There's some kind of useful advice on top as to how to log in if you're not certain, and there's also a contact if you get into difficulty, and there's also, if you hit this button, student support, that will get you to some of the support resources that are available as well. If I then click this, okay, it then asks me to log in. You won't see something like this. You will be asked to provide your login details, and I sign in. And I'm now asked to authenticate. Unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't happen to me every time, but that you may be required to do that. If you just bear with me, and I shall. Okay, so that should let me in now. Okay, and then you see I've got this is what it looks like. Very slightly different look and feel to the Canvas one, but you can obviously I've been looking at a module called Advanced Fund Accounting. I have lots of modules available to me. You should only see about 2 or 3 different modules in the main. And if I click into Advanced Fund Accounting, then that gets you into the actual content itself. I'm just going to show you what it looks like from a student perspective. You'll see there's a welcome page, and then you'll see all of the different topic areas underneath. Okay, and that's where all the material for your program will be located into different kind of sometimes it's done by lecture or by topic area, but it should be pretty obvious because we come back to this in advance of every class anyway. I'm going to come off the share here at this stage. Now, I think we've kind of run through that. Again, if you are having difficulty, use the online help resources or else contact myself and I'll see if there's anything that can be sorted out from my side. But usually, if it's a technical issue, it's kind of something around passwords or logins, and that's where our tech support team will be more better positioned to help you rather than ourselves. I'm going to come off the sharing. I will ask you now, Ashing, maybe if you could reshare the slide deck and we'll pick it back up from where we were. So hopefully now you have a reasonable idea as to how to access Moodle and how to access Canvas. They're not difficult processes and they're relatively easy to follow, but you will need your login ID, your ID and your login code password as well too. Okay then, so now to look at the actual program itself, the Certificate in Regulated Investment Funds, I'm going to chat a little bit about the program structure and the schedule, and then Aisling will come back in to talk about the final 3 items. So if we maybe flick on, okay, so you will be provided with a program handbook. I have it noted here, but a lot of this information that I'll be talking about is contained in the program handbook and in a lot more detail as well too. This is just a very high level summary. So what this slide tells you is it kind of gives you the very broad structure of what your program looks like. So effectively, you are going to have 4 modules to complete. So to get this certificate in regulated investment funds, you have 4 modules to complete. There's a module in fund accounting and the investment fund industry in the first semester, and then that gets followed up with 2 further modules in the second semester. So you do two modules in semester 1 and then 2 modules in semester 2. All these modules are mandatory, so you need to complete all modules in order to be awarded the certificate. That's why we have got that M there. And then the NFQ level is level 8. So this is the Irish system of qualifications. I think level 5 is about leaving cert, and level 8 is an honours degree level. So this is pitched at honours degree level 9 is masters, and level 10 is PhD. So this kind of gives you a sense of kind of I suppose the difficulty or the challenge that you will be faced with some of the content. There are 5 credits, so in total you will be doing 20 credits. So for example, a full undergraduate degree will have somewhere between 180 and 360 credits. That's if you're a full-time student for 3 or 4 years. This is a part-time program for 1 year, so cumulatively the full award is made up of 20 credits. Then I suppose from a practical perspective, probably what matters the most from your perspective is that how is it going to be assessed? Well, the fund accounting module is 30% continuous assessment, 70% exam, to give a cumulative total of 100, and in the investment fund industry is 100% continuous assessment, and then that kind of repeats itself again in the second semester. So again, I suppose the key kind of message out of this slide is that you've got 4 modules to complete, 2 in semester 1, 2 in semester 2, and you must complete all 4 modules in order to get the award. Maybe we can. I don't think I've spoken enough on that one now. Actually, maybe we can move on to the next slide. Yeah, I suppose then kind of look into the detail of the first semester a little bit more. Our first semester runs from September to December, and then how our classes are organized. We will have 1 class on Tuesday from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. That's fund accounting. I'll be taking that. These classes are all online, so you will be provided with a Zoom code in order to access the classes itself. And then you've got an hour break, maybe to get a bite to eat or whatever, and recharge your batteries. And then from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock, we take the investment fund industry with a lecture still to be announced. That is going to be on Zoom as well, and you will be provided with a different Zoom code to join that particular lecture, that class. So every Tuesday from September to December, there will be 5 to 7 a fund accounting class, and then from 8 to 10 the investment fund industry. We will begin on the 16th of on the Tuesday the 16th of September, and there's no class in midterm. But in the next slide, you're going to see maybe a more kind of detailed schedule of how this might look every single week. So maybe we can move on to that now. So yes, so this is our indicative schedule for semester 1. It's a little bit condensed. This is also in the program handbook, but I mean, it's it kind of repeats itself from week to week. So we start on the 16th of September as the very first week. From 5 o'clock on to 7 o'clock, it's fund accounting. From 8 to 10 is the investment fund industry, both on Zoom, a different Zoom code for each one. Then week 2, we just move on to next Tuesday night, 5 to 7 and 8 to 10. Week 3, so it's every Tuesday night from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and then 8 to 10 is the investment fund industry, 5 to 7 is fund accounting, and that repeats itself for the first 6 weeks. And then in the middle we take a break. That's kind of the traditional midterm week that we have in all our universities. So that week we call it a reading week, but it's a week where you will not have any lectures. And then we reconvene then in early November, on the 4th of November. Again, that is also a Tuesday. Every time it's a Tuesday from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock for fund accounting, and 8 to 10 for the investment fund industry. And that pattern repeats itself right up until the 9th of December. So on the 9th of December, you'll have your last suite of classes, 5 to 7 for fund accounting and 8 to 10 for the investment fund industry. And then, and we'll talk about the exam a little bit later, but there'll be an exam then on the 16th of December, again, a Tuesday, and that's an in-person on-campus exam. So again, the key message here is that 2 modules, 2 classes, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, 8 to 10, every single Tuesday, repeating itself. There's a break in the middle, and all the classes take place on Zoom. And maybe we can then move forward to the next slide. And then how does that then look like in semester 2? Well, again, this is all to be confirmed, but you can reasonably take it as going to look like this anyway. We will be starting after the Christmas break. We will start again on the 13th of January 2026. It'll be something similar, 2 modules, fund accounting and fund regulation, and they will be going from 5 o'clock to 8 to 10. Okay, so same kind of times as well, always on a Tuesday night, 5 to 7 and then 8 to 10, and those they repeat themselves. Now you will notice there's 1 or 2 kind of moves here. Again, that's due to lecture availability issues that we need to confirm around that time as well also. But you can be fairly confident that every Tuesday from the 13th of January onwards, 5 to 7 and then 8 to 10 will be the 2 class times, again online and on Zoom. Again, on the 17th of February 2026, there is a reading week. That kind of falls in with the normal midterms that will be happening in most of the secondary schools as well. And then after the reading week, the 24th of February, we fall back into that 5 to 7, 8 to 10 slots on a Tuesday night for all of your lectures. You will see that then takes you up to Easter. We take a 2-week break for Easter, and then we come back after Easter on the 14th of April for final 2 weeks of classes. There's 12 weeks in every semester, 12 weeks of classes at least anyway. And then that goes from the 14th to the 21st of April. There'll be 2 more Tuesday nights of fund accounting and fund regulation. And then there'll be a little bit of a break until we get to our exam sessions, and that we have scheduled in for about the 12th of May 2026, again to be confirmed. But I suppose because we're not under this pressure to get everything completed by Christmas, the second semester has got a number more breaks in it. But again, all the classes will be finished by the end of April, with 1 exam coming in early May. Okay, I think that's it. The last piece then from me is to look at our assessment schedule, particularly, I suppose, from the first semester release anyway. How is it looking? Well, again, these weeks, the dates here on the left-hand side, they all tie in with the Tuesday nights for every class. On week 6, there will be an online in-class assessment for the investment fund industry. You will do that online, but it will take place during the times of the class itself on the 8 to 10 slot. And then on week 7, on the 4th of November, there will be something similar for fund accounting. There will be 30% assessment. It'll take place online, but it will take place during the class time, somewhere between the 5 to 7 time slot that we have for that class. And then all your other classes will take place around that. So the 8 to 10 class will take place as normal for the investment fund industry on the 4th of November as well. We roll it forward then as well after that. The final assessment is a take-home assignment for the investment fund industry due in around the end of week 12. That's 70% of your grade. And then the fund accounting exam will take place on the 16th of December. In order to get it done before Christmas, we felt it might be a little bit unfair to do it on the 23rd of December. So on the 16th of December, it will be an in-person on-campus exam that will take place for fund accounting on that particular day, kind of around the 6 o'clock mark. Again, the precise timings and the locations for those exams, because they are in person, will be confirmed in due course. Okay, I think that's me done, Ashing. I think it's back over to you then.
Perfect. So I think John's already explained mostly what's needed in relation to the assessments and exams. Just to reiterate, the fund accounting is broken down into 30% CA and 70% final exam. As he mentioned, the exam is in person. The date is TBC, but for this first semester, we're looking at the approximate date of the 16th of December, as John mentioned. And the CA itself will be during class earlier in the semester. Just to note that for those who are enrolled in MTU, that exam will take place in Cork. And for those who are enrolled in SETU, that exam at the end will take place in Waterford. So if you could just plan ahead for that exam. We do endeavour to hold the exam in the evening and around the same time as you would have your normal classes. So where this is possible, that will be facilitated, but that will be confirmed to you by the lecturer in due course. That's not a final timing for now. And just to note, the investment fund industry module for the first semester is broken down again into 2 items. One is the in-class, it's usually a multiple choice questionnaire around the week 6 mark. You'll be doing online, but in class you do need to be online for that, and you do need to access it within a certain time that evening. So you'll be given plenty of advance notice of that. The 70% then is a take home that's due around week 12, but you will be given that much earlier in the semester so that you have time to work on that assignment. You'll be given the assignment brief very early on so that you have plenty of time, and we do recommend that students start their reading and preparation for that as early as possible, because we're very conscious that December is a busy time for all of you. Just, I suppose, to flag again the relationship between MTU and SETU. This is a jointly developed program, but it's not a joint award. So again, you'd be getting your certificate from MTU if you have registered with MTU, or you'll be getting your certificate from SETU if you've registered with SETU. And students who are registered with MTU will be subject to MTU regulations, as will students from SETU being subject to SETU regulations. So there are an awful lot of policies, procedures referenced within our program handbook. So if you've got any questions around, our academic integrity procedures, our exam procedures, etc., all of that is available on the respective websites. So we would just make sure that MTU students are only looking at the MTU regulations, and SETU students are looking at the SETU regulations. If you've got any questions or there's anything that you are unsure about, please feel free to get in touch, and we'd be happy to clarify if a particular procedure applies to you, or if you've got any questions in that regard. Okay. As we flagged, the main difference is that MTU students use Canvas while SETU students use Moodle, but the exact same material will be provided, and you will be provided with the same Zoom links as well. So that's important to note. So you will be getting the same Zoom link. So you'll be able to access the same classes effectively as your compatriots in the other university as well. In terms of student emails, you'll have given your personal account when you were applying for the programme. However, what will happen is in due course, you'll be issued with your student email. So you will be expected to be able to access that student email, because that's how we will be corresponding with you, read classes, sending out information, exam dates, etc. So we'll be ceasing to use whatever Gmail account or whatever it might have been when you applied. So please do get in touch with our IT services if you can't access that student student email. There's always a couple every year that have an issue accessing their student email, but please don't leave it till the very end, because there will be important correspondence coming through that email account that you'll need to get access to early on, because all official correspondence, as we mentioned, will go to this. If you aren't intending on accessing multiple email accounts, you can put a forwarding protocol onto that email, so you can kind of arrange for all those emails to go to your personal account if you'd rather that. But do make sure in any case that you have a mechanism for receiving those emails, because that is how lecturers will be corresponding with you. Just to flag that there are 2 email addresses you can contact myself and John on. So it's ashling.o'mahony is myself, and the johncasey@setu.ie is John's. You can also get in touch with us. There are some mechanisms. There's an inbox, for example, on Canvas and Moodle. However, we would caution that sometimes that may not be the most efficient way of getting in touch, so we would rather that you use this direct email address, because those emails may not be picked up. So that's the end of our slides. I will stop sharing just for a final word from John and I before we let you go.
Okay, thanks, Aisling, and thanks to yourselves for listening. And I hope I will see you in I think it was the 16th of September is what I said. Yeah, when we kick off our first class, 5 o'clock. You will be provided with the Zoom links, and I hope to see you all then.
Thank you all. It was great to speak to you today.